Okay, let's continue. So, we already introduced you guys about the Grace Pencil's 2D animation layout, and let's look at what we have drawn. So, you can treat this Grace Pencil's line like a vector. Okay, so essentially, it's not some of the things that when you draw, it is right there. Is that it's just a data, and you can change data. So it's like a vector. I learned a lot of software recently, so I try to make connections. I used previously I used Photoshop. So Photoshop is like you set out a pixel and you draw on this certain pixel, okay, and then you change the value of this pixel. But recently I got some side gig of Adobe Illustrator's like a graphic design job, and when I use a graphical design software like Adobe Illustrator, I got a completely new concept called vector. So all these lines just a vector, and essentially just data. Like recall that from this data to another data point, and you're going to have a certain angle, something like that. So the grease pencil in Blender is like that kind of a vector data. So if you look at here, just to get out of the draw mode, maybe object mode, and you can choose the object that you just draw, and then you can sort of treat this object like any object. So you can zoom in, you can scale it. So I just press S to scale it up and down. And by the way, I think the wall color need to be bring it down a little bit. Okay, the background color needs to be bring it down, and okay, and the strength maybe bring down a little bit. Okay, so if you look at here, and you can see this is essentially an object that you can change. Okay, so you can scale it up and down. You can even rotate it. Okay, and you can do whatever thing that you want to do. So maybe you can even sculpt it, but we will talk about that later. Okay, so just this is not just a simple line, it's just a vector. You can change that, and you can seamlessly change that. You will not get pixelated. So if you like pixel data, you even though it's a really high definition, but you like zoom it up to an extent that you won't be able to see very like a fine-tuned line. You will be able to see a lot of it like a pixelated dots, and that is not what I want. Okay, and then let's look at like a technical part. So if you look at the right side, we got the cube and we got stroke. Okay, if you like click this triangle, you can see that cube got animation here, and that's because you choose 2D animation, so it will automatically generate certain animation components. Okay, and then we got the cube, and if you see this shape here, like an icon here, it's sort of similar. I think it's exactly the same as the icon here. That's called data. Okay, so object data property, which means this cube is an object, and we got specific object data, basically some vertices and some like edges, and then some faces. Okay, as simple as that. And if you look here, the thing that you just draw will be a stroke object. Of course, we got animation in it, and of course, we got stroke in it. So if you look at stroke, the stroke will have as like a similar icon, but a little bit different. So this cube we got like 3 cube here, but they got connected, so got certain edges and faces. But the stroke does not necessarily like close, but just 2 dots, and we connect the dots, and we can maybe wiggle around a little bit. So if you look at here, and as I said, all this tool is contextual. So if you change that to a different thing or the context according, like all the tool will just change according to that specific context. So if you choose this stroke, you can see this icon change as well, and this also called object data property. But since the the icon changed, so must have changed something. So if you look at inside, we got layers. Okay, so this is very different. If you look at the cube, we got vertex groups and shape keys, something like that. But if you click here, you got layers. So what the heck is layers? It's like you are using Photoshop again. So we got different layers, we got lines, and we got fields. We will talk about that later, and we can customize this, and it's really powerful. When I first learned this, I'm so amazed by the versatile thing that it can do, and it's a free open source software. It got so much potential. So I'm coming from Photoshop. I use Adobe's products heavily, and I just encounter Blender. I'm amazed by this like a great community. So that's the like a moment. Like in Japanese, there is a kikkake, which means that that's the very moment when I decided to do something. Okay, so I think that's a kikkake moment for me. So it's like why I first realized that you can achieve so much more by joining this open source community, and we can build this together. Okay, so yeah, and by the way, you're more than welcome to join my community by subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumb up, and support me on Patreon, and join the Discord, and just hang out and at my live here at YouTube. Okay, so yeah, and we got lines and fields. So this line and fields just become layer. Okay, so if you don't know what this is, now you know. Okay, stroke, this is just data. Data, we got 2 layers of data, and if you don't know where it is, the right side is here. Okay, you choose a different layer. Essentially, you're choosing different like this icon inside of the stroke data. And what is more, there's a different material. So if you look at here, material, if you choose material and you choose the cube, you can see, it's just normal Blender. We got no materials, you have to create it yourself. But what if you choose stroke? You can see we got amazing 4 materials here. So we got solid stroke, we got, let me just give you guys a little bit more space. Here, we got solid stroke, we got square stroke, we got solid fill, we got dot stroke. Of course, it's not dot stroke or anything else yet, but we will talk about that, and we can customize that. And yeah, so this video is very short and very like an overview of what the thing that you're creating is. It's not just some drawing, it's an object. You got data in it, and you can scale that. You can scale it up, or can rotate it. You can later change it. It's not like when you draw, then it's done. You can only erase it. It's not like that. You can even sculpt it. And inside of this stroke, we got different layers. And of course, the stroke also have different material that later we can change. Okay, that's a quick takeaway of this video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumb up. And if you're rich, you want to support me, do please join the Patreon. And I share all my thoughts, just like unabridged version of a lot of things on Patreon. Okay, thank you so much, and see you next video. Bye.